company trying to do business in China. Eric accompanied his father on his recent state visit to Beijing, but insists he has no business interests in China, only going on the trip because he adores his father. Trump's health secretary, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., appears to be ruling out a run for president in 2028.
In a recent interview with Kaiser Family Foundation Health News, the health secretary says he's not going to run in 2028. RFK Jr. previously ran in 2024 before dropping out and supporting Donald Trump's bid for a second term. President Trump is reportedly weighing Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Vice President J.D. Vance as possible successors. President Trump, too, has thought about running again in 2028, though the 22nd Amendment would prohibit it. YouGov ranks RFK Jr. as the fourth most popular Republican. I'm Lisa Carton.
Consumer Reports are pointing to a mall revival being led by Gen Z shoppers. Data from Nielsen IQ showing Gen Z retail spending is expected to pass $12 trillion globally by the year 2030, with growth outpacing every other generation. And data from Circana is pointing to younger consumers preferring in-person shopping experiences over online shopping. Scott Carr, NBC News Radio.
This is Chicago's Progressive Talk, 820 AM, WCPT Willow Springs, and online at WCPT820.com, where facts matter. Amy Goodman reports on the news stories rarely covered by the corporate media. Democracy Now!
Pope Leo has reprimanded U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth for using Christian scripture to justify waging war and slaughtering people. During a Sunday Mass in St. Peter's Square, the Pope said God refuses the prayers of leaders who have hands full of blood.
Democracy Now! Weekday evenings at 11 on WCPT 820, Chicago's Progressive Talk.
Not all people are the same. And yet, when we visit the doctor, our treatments don't look that different. Why is that? Because we just don't have enough information to do it better. By gathering health data from 1 million people, our country's best researchers will be able to develop treatments that are as unique and complex as we are. With this new information, doctors will have a better understanding of disease so they can innovate the next great breakthroughs in medicine. Learn more at joinallofus.org.
You are listening to Think Theory Radio.
Hello and welcome to Think Theory Radio, the show that brings you topics outside the mainstream realm of thought and ideas to make you think. And I'm your host, Damien Perdue, your guide on this weird ride of junkie delights. And of course, I'm joined by Paulie C.
Yo.
And today, I didn't really have a C word for you on this one because we're talking about a lot of junk.
Contaminants.
There you go. Where were you half an hour ago? You were right here. Never mind.
I don't know. It's better if I write the joke like during it than beforehand.
True. Yeah. You are a good on-the-spot thinker.
Thank you. No pressure.
In a witty way.
Thank you.
And sports stats.
Random ones, yeah. Nothing that anyone actually needs in life. Yeah, I'm good for that.
Well, you might not know these stats that I got. We're going to have a ton of stats today.
I bet I won't be surprised, but I will be shocked.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Shocked and amazed. And the title of today's show is All That Junk.
All that junk. Like all of it.
Yeah, all the junk.
Because are you going to take us through your process? Or are you going to?
Yes.
Okay.
So I was thinking one day just about space junk.
Yeah, there's a lot of it.
Yeah.
I was about ready to throw a number at you when you said that, like, 10,000. I was like, that's just the satellites.
It's even more than that.
Because it keeps increasing, right? Because we've talked about this on the show, and it's like, no, it's this, and it keeps going up and up and up. So it's at least 10,000 satellites, and that doesn't necessarily count as junk, or does it?
It does, in a sense.
Does it have to be inoperable in order to be junk? Like, because there's got to be that, right? There's got to be satellites that are up there that are like old and inoperable, and they're just up there. And no one's pulling them back, and they haven't fallen back in yet.
And not only that, but the ones that are like broken up and fragmented. So you have the fragments.
Yep.
There's another part of the debris, and
bumping into each other and probably breaking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So then I was thinking,
okay, but that's just that. What other space junk is there?
Well, we'll get to that.
Okay.
But the whole show, though.
Okay.
So, because I was thinking about that, space junk.
There's a lot of it.
And I'm like, well, I don't know if I would do a whole show about space junk. But then I thought about, well, what about all the junk on Earth?
Yeah.
You know, because humans are some dirty, filthy animals.
Took it from space to land.
Space to land.
And water.
Yes.
The surface. Mm-hmm. From space to the surface.
And then I thought about, what about all the junk in our bodies?
Yeah, right. Internally.
Internally.
Okay.
And externally, because you got like weird
true. Yeah.
bacteria and mites running around in your body.
But you brought it to the self.
Yeah. So from space to Earth to yourself.
So nobody has an excuse, okay? Right. He's gonna make you feel guilty for the next hour. So you have no excuse.
Yeah. There's I do have a little bit of hopefulness in it, you know, because of course I had to look up, you know, hopefully somebody's doing something about this problems. I'm not, other than talking about it, but
I think we try not to be totally wasteful people, but at the same time, it's like, you hypocrites, you know, your cars and your whatever, you know.
When I had this idea,
single serving stuff that you purchase,
right? And just I had this idea in mind for a while, and then I was talking to a buddy of mine who works for a waste management company, and he was telling me about this client.
And did he say that recycling is just a hoax?
Yeah, I don't you know, years ago, China stopped taking our recycling. Because we used to send all of our recycling to China. Yeah. And they said we can't take any more.
Well, let alone the fact that I think that the process of recycling is sometimes just so detrimental too, that it's like, are you really saving the planet if it needs this much production, you know?
And we actually, as Americans, we produce more garbage and crap.
But you know what I'm saying, though, where it's like, well, I'm recycling, I'm doing my part. And it's like, yeah, but that also adds to the pollution when you're processing that recycled stuff. You know, you still...
Yeah, a little bit, but it'd be better. It'd be better if we could do it all.
It'd be better if we just reduced the amount, or biodegradable, or reduced what we're wasting.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, especially when there's so much. So back to my friend who was telling me, there's the client that they have that is a big company that makes all these kind of like tchotchkes and memorabilia and, you know, like the kind of stuff you see like on the Home Shopping Network where it's like this American Eagle, but it's like a plastic thing on a mantle.
Right. Just stuff that like collects over time. No one really needs.
Exactly. Just the useless crap, you know. But he was telling me how when people return it, they don't resell it. They just throw it out. So like these guys clear dumpsters full of all this stuff, all this junk that hasn't even been used. It's still like in the boxes, but it's a bunch of, you know, like, you know, sports team memorabilia, a lot of Christmas stuff.
Wasteful.
Right. So
just on a physical level, and I just think on like an economic level too. Mm-hmm. It's just so wasteful.
Yeah, wasting money, wasting, you know,
space. Yeah, but polluting.
Plastic.
Polluting.
You know?
Yeah.
And I just thought, wow, that's insane. And that's just one company. You know, how many companies? And that's just one company making that kind of product. You think about food waste and everything else.
I don't know if it improved, but, you know, you remember like the pandemic and when Biden took over and they're talking about like just like shipping, how it was like, oh, yeah, a product might cross an ocean twice before, you know, from in the process to before it gets to you. And it's like, that's absurd. That's absurd that anything would need to cross an ocean more than once on this planet.
Right. I know. It is nuts. Yeah, like you think about like you were saying, tying in not only just the amount of junk that's there, but how much wastefulness it is producing it, but also then trying to recycle it, you know, et cetera, et cetera. But then, you know, the space junk thing, I think, is very scary in a lot of ways. I mean, we know the junk on Earth, right? Like, because we see it. And we see the landfills, we see the garbage in the streets. We know that, you know, we're dirty humans and we leave stuff lying around everywhere.
Yeah.
But we don't see the stuff in space. So we kind of turn a blind eye to it. We just, you know, because you look up in the sky, you can't see it. You might see a satellite going by here and there in the night.
Yeah.
But you don't think about how much junk is up there.
Yeah.
And there is so much junk up there that it's getting dangerous.
I'd imagine that this was going to be an eventual problem with space junk. I mean, when we talked about initially the 10,000 satellites or however it is now, you know, it's like, that's a lot. You know, I know that's a lot of, you know, square mileage up there or cubic mileage, you know, like, cause it's, but it's, you know, still, that's our planet and some of it crashes back down when it gets, you know, however it gets back into the atmosphere and then crashes and burns.
Yeah. And that's happened a couple times. Like there was a,
I would imagine it's so infrequent, but just the fact that it could happen and the fact that you're putting that much up there, all of it would have to come down unless they're going to collect it in some sort of safer manner, right?
So it's so there actually is companies that are working on trying to.
That's good. Otherwise, because you have like 10,000 lawn darts coming back at you.
Yeah,
you know.
I mean, like
fiery,
I was looking up
fiery lawn darts.
Like in 1997 in Tulsa, there was a woman who.
Traveling at like tens of thousands of miles.
Yeah, and she was struck in the shoulder by a 5-inch piece of burning fiberglass.
It probably just like took her out. She can't use that shoulder again.
The object was traced back to the second stage of the U.S. Delta II rocket.
Wow.
So that made her the first person confirmed to be hit by human-made space debris.
Wow.
And then there was a farmer that almost got hit by something falling from one of the Falcon 9s.
That sounds kind of like what you'd think, right? If you were writing that in a movie. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you show, like, NASA being like, well, as long as nobody got hurt on the ground, it's just some guy working out in the field.
Right.
Doink! You know,
exactly.
Yeah.
There was another one that fell through somebody's house in debris from the ISS, from the International Space Station, fell through the roof and 2 floors of a home in Naples, Florida.
See, and that seems like if you were sitting under that would have killed you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. I mean, yeah, it's pretty lucky to think like there's only been one person that was actually hit by a piece of something.
But that's kind of like the idea, like people fire their guns into the air, and it's like, I don't know if it tends to land on. I mean, I know there's a statistic likelihood that it could hit somebody and hurt or kill somebody, but it's also like there's a lot of non-human space being filled.
True.
You know, in between, you know,
there's a lot
the sky
of
and the ground.
Too.
Yeah,
like,
the water.
Yeah, how much falls.
A lot of water, but like you know, even like buildings or whatever.
Yeah,
you know,
true.
but not that. You know, it's weird. It's weird to think about, but especially because it's like one of those things where you know it's like going to be that guy that's having like the worst day ever. It's like, oh, what's the worst thing that can happen? It's like statistically unlikely, but it happened.
Just a burning piece of fiberglass right through the skull.
1 in quadrillion chance that this would happen to you, and it happened. You know.
Do you know when this all started?
When what started?
Space junk.
Well, I mean, it's got to be when we started launching things into space, right? Like, there's got to be like the early cosmonauts and
Sputnik 1.
Yeah, Sputnik 1. Yeah, okay, that's the first one. Yeah, because it was the first thing we launched into space, right?
1957.
But we ditched it. They ditched it out in space.
Yeah, I mean, you just.
I say they. Let's say the human race. We ditched it.
Right. We're all together.
Yeah, right. Yeah. No, someone listening is like, oh, great, the Marxist on. Yeah. The communist on the station. Yeah. No. Okay. So mankind ditched Sputnik out in space.
Yeah. I mean, most of the stuff gets ditched, but most of it burns in re-entry.
Yeah.
But there's tons of like fragmented pieces up there. Okay. So right now they say there's 33,269 trackable. That's just trackable.
Yeah.
Objects in orbit. Of those, 17,682 are satellites. And then I think it's like 5,000 of those satellites are non-functional.
Okay.
The rest are some form of junk, ranging from like expended rocket bodies to debris to objects that cannot be identified, or like a Tesla Roadster that is now approaching Venus.
Yeah.
Remember when they launched that Roadster into space?
I don't remember that.
You don't remember that?
No. Why? What?
That was when Elon Musk was still considered like okay, I guess.
Sure.
But they launched. They just
okay.
It was when SpaceX first started working with NASA, and I think it was a publicity stunt.
Yeah.
You know, and they launched a Tesla Roadster, a red one, into space with a little fake guy in there.
Yeah.
Supposedly, who knows? Maybe there was a real person in there.
Gosh.
Like, trying to shut up. No.
Right. Like, this is what happens when you upset a billionaire. Right. Like, oh my gosh. Hey, look, I'm not saying that this happened, but I'm saying if there is a candidate on this planet to be such an evil villain that he would shoot someone up into space just to prove a point, it might be Elon Musk.
Right.
I think there's a statistic likelihood.
And who do you think the top? Well, you could figure out like the top contributors, right? So like China is the biggest contributor of space junk, which is interesting because the U.S. is the biggest contributor for Earth junk.
Okay.
Or garbage.
Okay. I would have thought the other way around.
No, we actually per capita. So Americans produce like about 5 pounds of trash a day.
Per capita for the land trash, but and the ocean trash. But what about the space junk? You're saying like space physical, junk, like numerical pieces. It's more them than us, or
we're the second biggest in terms of one country.
Yeah.
So it's China is like 60% of space junk. We are like 32, and then the other, whatever that is.
All right,
29, 18. But then there's like 8 countries make up the rest of it.
But hold on. I don't know if this answers, if you're going to be able to answer this question. How much of it is Chinese-made stuff launched by the United States?
That I don't know.
Yeah.
That's an interesting one. Although I do think most of satellites we make ourselves, most space things we do launch up there is American-made, I think.
Okay.
But yeah, you're talking about... some of the, so there's large objects, which is like 10 centimeters or more. There's 54,000 objects. They say there's like, if you count all of everything there's 16,200 tons of human-made space junk with millions of untracked hypervelocity fragments. So the thing is, these are all traveling, like the average speeds is about 17,500 miles per hour.
And it's just orbiting, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, they just sent the that rocket to go up to the moon, right? And I've always thought about this with like, you know, now that we're doing more of these space shuttles or things, you know, these, are they hitting any of this stuff on the way out? Yeah. And then like, I'm surprised it doesn't have a detrimental effect on the space travel.
Well, it has in a way. I mean, some of the they call them taikonauts for the Chinese astronauts.
Okay.
And their space station, I guess
I don't pay attention to non-United States space travel.
Right.
So yeah.
But they got hit, or their capsule, they're like got hit by some fragments, so they had to. They were stuck on their space station for a while before they could get another capsule up there to get them.
Okay.
I think it happened also to some cosmonauts, same thing. I think something similar happened to the ISS.
I thought I heard something like that where it was like someone was stuck up there longer than they needed to be, you know, for whatever reason. But, yeah.
And then also like tons of satellites get hit. I mean, this is something that could potentially, not to be dramatic or, you know, fear-mongering or whatever, but it could wipe out the grid in a lot of ways, like in terms of like GPS.
Don't tempt me with a good time.
You know, because it's, I mean, think about it. There's millions of small fragments traveling 17,000 miles an hour, just whipping around. And then there's over 17,000 satellites up there.
Yeah.
Okay. So, you know, the more and more junk that's up there, the more and more likely these satellites are going to get hit. And if it's, you know, the right or wrong satellite, depending on how you look at it.
Oh, no, I can't watch Yellowstone anymore. You know, something stupid like that.
Yeah. I mean, I think we'd still have like power on Earth, but we wouldn't have like GPS, or it could knock out like, you know, the
the
military
Knicks game.
satellites.
The military,
or,
right,
you know,
well, and who knows how much of that stuff is happening behind the scenes, the stuff that we don't know that, you know, I don't know.
I guess they just, Russia actually just did one of the, you know, two, NASA was saying, they're like one of the most impressive space maneuvers where they were able to, because what's happening now is, you know, this is outside of the junk thing, but well, I guess it counts, is countries are working on technology of satellites that can go grapple other satellites.
There's like robot wars up there? Yeah.
Space wars.
Well, but you remember like BattleBots?
Yeah.
You know, like they got like saws up. That'd be like kind of funny if there's just a satellite up there. It's like,
yeah, that's actually kind of what they've been trying to like that and lasers.
That's like the new warfare is like, okay.
Because if they can send a satellite up there, all they have to do really is just knock one of our important satellites just a little bit out of orbit, and it'll be defunct.
Has anyone mapped all these satellites? I mean, I think they're constantly moving, right? So
yeah,
I mean, like,
that's what I was saying. They have tracked
like
33,000
3D models and stuff, and it's close enough that it could be observed. So
yep, you can go on the European Space Agency's website, and you can go on NASA, and they have portals for all the statistics of you know, what's up there. So like this is from the European Space Agency's number of rocket launches since the start of space in 1957, like we mentioned Sputnik. there's been 7,210 rocket launches.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's excluding failures.
Okay, how many failures would you say?
It does. I don't know. I mean, like maybe 100.
Yeah, I was gonna say like you hear about them, but like they seem to be infrequent.
Yeah, I think it's happened a lot more recently because there is more rocket launches now.
Well, I'd imagine, so that's like the likelihood increases, but at the same time, I think in the trial and error processes through the various different types of rockets that they've tried, I would imagine that there was some of that though too. So
for sure. There's also, let me see, number of satellites. So there's 25,000. There's a number of satellites these rocket launches have placed into Earth orbit. Now, they're not all up there, but there's been 25,920 overall since then.
Yeah. Okay, now what about like,
still in space.
You know, when they send up the shuttle, there's like the giant like gas boosters and stuff, you know, like, and they like disengage. Like that's all sitting up there, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, except for the ones that have burned, back in reentry. But some of them are sitting up there, and then a lot of the little small fragments come from those too as well.
Yeah.
Number of space, you were asking about the ones that are tracked. So there's the space surveillance networks tracking and maintaining their catalog have tracked about 44,870 objects in space. Wow. And like I said, that's just the ones that tracked. You can't track the little small
pieces.
Ones. They believe there's at least 1 million.
Whew.
Yeah. Estimated number
tiny
of breakups.
Screws and shards.
Yeah. 660 breakups, explosions, collisions, or anomalous events resulting in fragmentation. 660. Total mass of all space objects in Earth, I just mentioned a little bit, 16,200 tons. I felt like that needed to be reiterated.
Wow. Okay.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's, it's pretty nuts, like how much is out there, but also in the fact that it shows you how huge our orbit is, right? Like our atmosphere and low Earth orbit, because you can't see them.
Yeah.
And even when you look at footage from, like the Artemis 2 that just went up, or other, the Blue Horizon and the other rockets that have gone up, you never see it when people are taking pictures out of the windows or, I mean, a lot of times I think that's when you get the kind of conspiracy UFO videos are like, oh, look at the astronaut. There's something in the background floating. What is that?
It's
Yeah, it's probably just a broken satellite or space junk because there's so much up there.
Hey, don't go telling the general public that. You still have something you gotta fear, right? And UFO stuff being released.
Well, how many UFOs have broken up there?
It's a whole different conversation.
All right, let's take a quick break. When we come back, we will talk about all the junk on Earth. Dirty humans. If you want to give us a call, hit us up at 773-763-WCPT. That's 773-763-9278. We'll be back with more Think Theory Radio right after this.
WCPT 820 listeners, it's time for some girls news. In 2026, women's entrepreneurship is surging. Driven by a desire for flexibility and accelerated by AI and digital tools, women are increasingly leading in e-commerce, wellness, and service-based sectors, with a major trend towards solo, high-impact, and home-based businesses designed for a work-life balance. Women entrepreneurs are heavily utilizing AI and e-commerce tools to streamline operations and reduce cost. 68% of women entrepreneurs have cited a work-life balance as a primary motivator to becoming a business owner, driving the demand for virtual assistants, digital marketing, consulting, and online coaches. Now, despite the growth, there is a push for better banking support and policy with a focus on addressing the $3 trillion opportunity for women and minority-owned business acquisitions. WCPT 820 listeners, I'm Whitney Rydell, and this has been your Girls News.
WCPT 820, Chicago's progressive talk, where facts matter.
Welcome back to Think Theory Radio. Today we're talking about all that junk, but not all the junk in your trunk.
That comes
later.
I
do have a lot of junk in my trunk.
Yeah, that comes later though, right?
Yeah. So we just talked a little about like the space junk, Just leaving garbage. That's what we do. We just leave garbage everywhere.
You say we, but it's like that's mankind. But I don't feel responsible for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, I mean, I guess my tax dollars go to some of that. But it's like, I guess now I have to boycott anything that has a satellite. Is that what you're saying?
Well, not just. I'm just like, but even just think about which we're going to get into now is the technosphere.
Okay.
Which is the name they've given to the layer of human-made trash.
Oh my gosh. Technosphere?
Yeah. It sounds like something I went to like a rave.
I was going to say, yeah, like, it was a really cool club back in the day. You should have gone to the Technosphere.
I think something would be in like Berlin or somewhere.
Yeah. Oh, you've never been to the Technosphere? Oh, it's the greatest club. I don't even know. That's not a German accent. I don't know.
That's a little more Austrian, but it's okay.
But those people party too.
But we have created a literal layer. This is something that, when and if humans die off, and then there's some kind of future people or other,
the future, the cockroaches.
Exactly. They evolve.
Yeah.
Right. And then when they start, their archaeologists and anthropologists will find this layer of trash, but not just. It's not just
but they'll
like
think
garbage
it's normal.
You throw out.
Because I'm thinking by the time that they evolve and even come up with a language, and then that there would be education and like anthropologists and archaeological cockroaches, I think that they would think it was normal.
Maybe. It depends because most...
Man left it here for us.
Now we can utilize it.
How thoughtful of them.
But it's we're the only animals that make trash. I mean, that's not...
I don't know. I own cats. They make some waste. Let me tell you.
No, but all of that goes back into the earth, right? Like most animals and plants, it recycles, right?
No, I get it. Yeah, it's not like cats are manufacturing plastics and
right. Yeah,
single-serving catnip packages and stuff. Yeah.
So they say we just said there was 16,000 tons of space junk,
all man-made.
All man-made. Well, maybe UFOs. We don't know. 30 trillion tons of stuff on Earth's surface.
It's just we haven't figured out a way to launch all of it yet.
Mm-hmm. So that's spread over 80 million square or 31 million square miles, 80 million square kilometers, but 31 million square miles. 100,000 times the weight of all living humans.
So we couldn't even pick it up together if we tried. Better start working out, fellas.
Yeah. And like I said, Americans, we produce like 5 pounds of trash a day.
Yeah.
The average American, which is about 4 times more than our
I think 5 is ratio a little much, but I guess if you're averaging it out, if you average it out, because I'm sure there's people today, someone moved in there, all their boxes and packaging and stuff like that they're going to throw away. And then there's like little old me that had like a frozen dinner.
Well, just on the beginning of the show, I was talking about that company that just throws out dumpsters full of, crap memorabilia. I mean, I would assume that counts in the 5 pounds a day.
Yeah.
But we do 4 times more than we are within the population.
I could see that because it's like I've worked jobs where it's like every day when you're dealing with the trash there, it's like, gosh, we went through all of that today.
Right. Well, I think about it just at home. I mean, I live by myself, and I fill up like the garbage bag, but also like the recycling bag. It gets filled. I'm like,
it's just you.
What am I doing?
Yeah, just you.
It's just me. And they would call it, this era that we call as the Anthropocene, or that's what like anthropologists have given the Anthropocene era.
And what's this era like?
It's the human era. It's
So it's wide ranging. It's not like 1600 to 2100 or something.
No, but I think it has more to
10,000 BC to, I don't know. Or like when are we talking about like wasteful civilizations? When would that have started when we were creating things and getting rid of them?
Yeah, well, it's a period of geologic time, but it has to do with people altering the Earth's surface.
Okay. Oh, okay, like displacement and stuff like that.
I guess you would say 10,000 years ago.
Yeah, okay.
So we actually started, because this also counts like ancient ruins count as part of this, because you have layers of buildings, you have layers of, agriculture, you have layers of like all the garbage.
But at the very least, some of that stuff is like of nature, like, like the stone tools and like the, stone ruins. At least it's not like some sort of chemically made compound, I guess. I don't know. I mean,
right. Like, yeah. I mean,
they're just doing like horsehair and like limestone and stuff, right?
True. It is. It's hard to say. Is it better or not? I mean, I would assume it is, but
I think it could be broken down pretty easily. But then again, I don't know if how toxic that rock dust could be. I don't know. Yeah.
Well, and that's happened for years. They have done that. I mean, that's one of the reasons a lot of the pyramids in Egypt don't have their outer casing, because they used a lot of the stones from the pyramids to build the buildings in Cairo. Like, whatever, hundreds of years ago. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And I know, like in Mexico, the Spaniards would do that. Like, they would deconstruct a lot of forcibly would deconstruct the ancient temples and build churches and stuff.
Well, think about like the buildings in like Chicago and the Chicagoland area. Like the ones that were built in the late 19th century are all brick. And like some of them are holding up pretty well, and some of them have just kind of fallen apart over the years. But like it kind of just makes you wonder, like, we don't build with that type anymore, or if we do, it's so expensive. But it's like, I'm pretty sure they were just the local source that they were digging out their mud and making their bricks and just building up and just doing this. And it's, I don't know. I don't know where I was going with this, other than the fact that it's like, it seems like
more natural.
Yeah, more naturally, I guess. Yeah. Than nowadays there's a lot of composites and things,
Oh yeah, for sure. And I mean, I don't know how,
houses are put together with like kits and stuff,
and what can grow. I mean, if I've seen it in Mexico where the jungle can overtake the stone pyramids, right? So there's they're covered in shrubbery and
it was like even it's not Mexico, but like Machu Picchu was totally underneath like all that stuff, and they dug it all out.
Would that happen to what we've built? I don't know.
Yes. No, actually I've seen, like, at least in most artist renderings or most like scientists like renderings of what they think, like, if mankind disappeared and it wasn't taken care of, this is what it would look like 1,000 years from now. And it looked like most of the city was covered by just plants that just took over, assuming that nothing was there to stop it,
Yeah.
As for how long that would take, I don't remember what I saw necessarily, but I think it was like Chicago 1,000 years into the future if mankind didn't exist. And like maybe some of the buildings have fallen apart. It didn't really address that, but it showed a lot of like just plants building up on the skyscrapers and stuff like that, but maybe not all the way up, but like, kind of taking over the bottom.
That'd be kind of cool. The John Hancock, just
think of all the ticks.
Imagine what kind of like crazy bugs and insects would evolve after that, that period of time.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, and then what happens to all the garbage in that time? Like some of it is biodegradable, but isn't some of it, like some of the plastics, it's like, oh, it's biodegradable, but like over tens of thousands of years or something, or millions of years that it would take.
And I mean, it's like I said, the good thing is in both of these, and I know, we talked about the space junk a little bit, but I was looking up and I saw several different articles about there's at least 7 to 10 different startups and other companies that have been working on technology to remove space junk.
Yeah.
Right? And there was actually like I think it was just a couple years ago, was the first semi-successful attempt at removing something from space. Because I mean, this is another, like, you have to go up there.
Oh yeah, no, that's it. Just the idea of us going up into space is crazy enough. So to think that, like, and especially retrieving it and bringing it back too, like, so the whole process. Yeah,
exactly. And then we know, like we've talked about on the show, especially like in Weird Science episodes, the different people that are working on.
Yeah, on Earth.
And creating the...
Well, and even wasn't there like the plastic-eating like enzyme or something like that? And then like,
Exactly. So there is...
Like, isn't the tardigrade evolving now to eating plastic? Isn't that...
I know they have found a couple different, like a bacteria that eats plastic. I'm pretty sure they found a fungus that can eat plastic. But also there's like that one young kid that created the ocean cleanup system that's been doing pretty good.
I just think of like all the bacteria and the natural stuff that has evolved to do this, and we think like, oh, that's great. That it's like probably something that's like, oh yeah, but it's going to make it so much more powerful and toxic to human life. It's like, oh, its spores are going to kill you. Yeah.
Plastic.
Cool. Yeah. It's like, oh, it's coming for you next. It's evolving to eating flesh. Like, I guess fungus does eat flesh, right? There's already that.
True. But I was looking at some of the stats here back on Earth. There's 33% of the planet's waste is not managed in an environmentally safe way. which is
that's a scary stat.
And that's a conservative figure.
Yeah.
Right. 33%.
That makes sense though when you think about all like the weird dumping and like the sort of the calculated process that maybe the government and companies go through to determine, well, is cancer really that bad if it brings in business?
Right.
Yeah.
And what they said there was 30 trillion tons of stuff. And I think they're saying that global waste will grow to 3.4 billion kilograms, I guess, by 2050.
Whew. What's it at now?
Well, now it's 30 million tons. I can't do the conversion of.
Yeah, why do they get imperial to metric?
I know. Well, it's a couple different articles.
What? Oh, okay, I thought it was like, what psychopath did that to you in the middle of the thing? Did they change languages on you too?
This is for the people that know this.
All right. Well, give me the numbers here. What was it?
3.4 billion kilograms, I think.
Kilograms converted.
And as you look that up, there's 12%. It was talking about Americans, right? 12% of the world's trash comes from America, and this is despite the country only making up 4% of the globe's population. Just back in, this was in 2018, so this was a while ago. America was responsible for producing 292.4 million tons of municipal solid waste.
Okay, 3,400,000 kilograms equals like a little under 4,000 tons.
Okay. So that must be per person, I think. Then,
okay,
because that's where the stat was coming from.
Yeah.
Let's see if somebody on the phone line has the answer.
I'm pretty sure this is Brian from Albuquerque, right?
Yes.
Hey, what's going on, Brian?
What's up, Brian?
I just want to comment on your trash discussion.
Trash talk.
One of the biggest. Yeah, there you go. One of the biggest components of our waste stream is baby diapers.
Oh,
yeah.
And then also diapers on senior citizens. And I was born in '61, and big Irish Catholic family, and disposable diapers weren't out yet. And I remember cloth diapers, and then like my youngest sister and brother, they were wearing disposable. And now you think about every baby, every child in their disposable diapers, and it's a lot. And it's the human waste isn't being sent to the sewage treatment plant. It's being wrapped in plastic and shipped off to the landfill, and it's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another big problem is tires.
Yeah.
In America, we consume a tire for every citizen. So 340 million tires every year goes into the landfills. And they haven't really come up with a feasible use for them or a recycling technique. And of course, they're mostly composed of oil. So anyway, interesting discussion. And then the first half hour, you're talking about space junk.
Yeah.
They're going to bring the space station down in like 5 years.
Yeah, that's right.
I just looked it up. And that'll be a good fireworks show. It'll be over the Pacific, I'm sure. But I just watched it fly over the mountains in Albuquerque about a week ago.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's just a white dot. It's a white dot going across the sky. And then when Tesla's putting up, or not Tesla, but SpaceX is putting up their Starlink satellites.
Yep.
I've seen that several times, and it's just a string of dots going across the sky. Maybe a couple dozen of them.
I saw that when I was way up in Michigan last summer. So it was, nice.
Yeah, clear
dark
skies,
sky.
you can see a lot.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Anyway,
I remember thinking back when I was a kid and you couldn't see any of that. Now you see just just white lights going by all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the astronomers hate it.
Yeah, I know. Like, it's just getting more and more. You're right. I know. And they're trying to put up fake moons and stuff up there too. That's going to be blinding because China wants to put up a reflector to help illuminate the cities at night.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
I love it.
Oh, man.
All right.
Well,
hope I'm long enough to see it.
Yeah,
you guys have a good day.
You
Bye.
too. Thanks, Brad. I think he was talking about the diaper thing. It reminded me of, which I didn't even think about to bring up on the show, is what a fatberg is, right?
No.
So a fatberg are these...
Is this like the secret menu at In-N-Out?
Yeah. Never had the fatburger? No. Wasn't that a movie, Fat Burger? Was it? I know, based on a real thing, right? It was
Fat Burger? Oh, I don't know. Now you got me
going.
Or
maybe it was Good Burger.
Good Burger, yeah. But no, I feel like Fat Burger is a thing. Oh, no, it's a restaurant. It's a restaurant chain. Yeah,
I know, I've seen it. No, a Fatburg though, B-E-R-G.
Fatburg. That's it's near Pittsburgh, and it's got the largest people in the. No,
they make the Italian.
They put spaghetti inside of a pizza, inside of a taco. Fattest people in the
chili
world.
On top.
With chili on top. Fattest people in the world. Fatburg, Pennsylvania. Check it out. No.
Isn't that like the Cincinnati thing? It's like spaghetti with
Skyline
chili.
Yeah. So I think they put like chili on spaghetti with like a bunch of shredded cheese, like covering the whole thing, shredded like cheddar, I think.
Yeah, that's a Fatburg. No, but a Fatburg is...
That's a city that doesn't have food culture is what that is.
Now you got a whole city against us.
Pittsburgh is cool because they got the pierogi behind it. You know, I can get behind a stuffed dumpling. That's an old school method, and to be famous for that. And I know they have like their style of pizza and stuff like that. And then I want to say there's like Altoona style pizza, which is just like straight slices of cheddar is the cheese. Like they don't do mozzarella. And I saw that and I was like, that's a crime against. Actually, I don't even think it's cheddar. I think it's American. I think they just do straight like American cheese slices as their cheese on the pizza. That's a crime against humanity.
That is a crime. That's sacrilegious. Sacrilegious.
So let's move it back to other trash though.
Well, real quick, Fatburg is a giant rock hard coagulated mass of grease and debris found in sewers.
Okay.
And this is the blockages from fats, oils, and grease bind together with unflushable items like wet wipes. And that's what reminded me of some of the disposable diapers, because like wet wipes, you know, I know that's like, you know, we're talking about how much things are like scams.
Yeah.
Right? So like...
We're saying what big what was it? Big napkin has gotten to you. They're gonna trash the wet wipe. I mean, I think I found them convenient when I have stickiness. You know, like.
Yeah, but here's the thing. So they originally came out. The first product was baby wipes.
Okay.
And then, which is understandable, right? But to make more money, it wasn't. It's not a necessary thing for you to use a wet wipe after you go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Okay. But it was just a marketing strategy. They're like, how do we sell more?
Depending on some people's diets, it might actually be.
Just invest in a bidet.
Yeah, right.
Just get a bidet. It's like more environmentally friendly.
Yeah, but I don't want to be a fancy pants Frenchman.
But so you can look up pictures. There's like, it happens a lot more in London because it's, you know, it's such an old city and their sewers aren't as big. And they've had this, like I saw a picture of it.
Too many pies, that's what it is.
The world's largest Fatburg, and it was just this huge, disgusting mass.
Oh, look at that, boys. We did it.
Look at that fat bag.
Oh, a big Fatburg, eh? Brought that one,
Gov. There's also, this large worm blob or sewer monster is a large pulsating mass in the pipes.
Was it alive or is it just
It's often living colonies of tubifex worms.
Okay.
Nicknamed sludge worms.
Oh, gosh. I bet they're fun to be around.
Yeah, right. So
we want your trash. Give it to us. We're going to flush that down the sewer. Yeah, do it.
And since we're talking about sewers, here's another. The average U.S. family can waste 180 gallons of water each week. Not used, just wasting.
Okay.
9,400 gallons per year. That's the same amount of water required to wash over 300 laundry loads. On a nationwide scale, household leaks can lead to almost 900 billion gallons of water being wasted annually.
Wow.
And America currently has a recycling and composting rate of 32.1%. 25 million plastic bottles are thrown away each
day.
Hour.
Wow.
In the U.S. In the U.S., just the U.S. alone.
Yeah. I mean, I rarely drink bottled water. Today, I drank a bottled water.
Yeah. It's so
how many millions of people today drank a bottle of water? Maybe even more.
Oh, I know.
Maybe there's like a graduation party and several bottles got. You know what I'm saying? That's
I know it's
an hour. You're saying
an hour. Oh. I'm old enough to remember when if you went to the store. They didn't sell bottled water, or they did. It was just a big gallon water for the house.
The glass, in the 80s, the glass like Avion bottle or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. But now there's whole, sections of just water.
Well, and it's crazy now how like it used to be like you were kind of a fancy pants if you drank bottled water
for sure.
30, 40 years ago. And now it's like a necessity in a way. I mean, we can argue how necessary, but I'm just saying, like, it's almost like people almost need the bottle of water now because that's how they're getting their water.
Yeah. And that's like a whole other, because we could get into like the scam of bottled water.
Yeah.
The waste of like how companies like Nestle just take water from California.
Oh, yeah,
They could be going to people, or like Coca-Cola, remember like Coca-Cola, this one CEO came up with the idea of having running faucets of Coca-Cola in third world countries. And his idea was because he's like, well, they have more access to Coca-Cola than they do water, so we might as well give. And then, when there was a big pushback. Oh, no, I was just it was just a joke. I just said it in jest. It was like, yeah, right. If people would have been down with you, they would have.
I've been to Coca-Cola Worldwide or whatever that museum's called. They got all sorts of cool dispenser, ideas. There was this is like 30 years ago, but there was like a thing where like you put down your cup. They might still have it, and it's like it like shoots the syrup at you, or like maybe it was, I don't remember, it just shoots something at you, lands in your cup, and then it like puts the water in it to mix it up, like like a machine next to it.
Yeah.
So it's like shooting like a dart of syrup like right at you that like lands in your cup. And it's like there's like lights and music and stuff too, and it's just like, this seems a little much. Like, how many kilowatts did we use up just to get one refreshing drink today?
That's funny. And talking about coffee, 500 every year 500 coffee cups are used by the average office worker. Those are single-use cups, not recyclable.
Man, you just make me feel just guilty. Is it hot in here? Is it just me?
Yeah, right. 20 companies are responsible for producing over half of the globe's single-use plastics. All of this eventually goes into landfills. 20 companies are responsible for over half. The standard office worker generates approximately 2 pounds of paper and paperboard waste each day. They also use around 10,000 sheets of copy paper annually, supposedly. Mixed paper products account for about 70% of total office waste overall. Globally, there's more than 50 million metric tons of electronic waste. And that's expected to rise by a further 20 million metric tons over the next decade. And at present, only about 20% of electronic waste is recycled on a global scale.
Okay.
And that's just like, the tip of the fatberg when we're talking about waste. See what I did there?
The fatberg. Okay.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk about what all the junk in your body, man. Putting all that junk in your body's a temple. Think Theory Radio right after this.
Driving it home with Patty Vasquez.
John Fugelsang joins us. Oh my God, John, I need you so badly. I need your humor. I need your brilliance.
I want to thank you for all you're doing, because CPT is like this incredible beating heart of progressive talk radio. And my first time at your studios was in, I think, 2012. And I just can't believe that how CPT keeps rolling and keeps inspiring. I give you credit for the Pope.
I'll take that, even if he's a Sox fan. We'll take it.
Patty Vasquez, weeknights 5 to 7 on WCPT 820.
This is WCPT 820, where facts matter.
Welcome back to Trash Talk Radio.
Yeah.
Talking about all that trash.
Was when Brian called, he was like, yeah, talking about your garbage conversation. But what are conversations? No, I mean your garbage conversation. Yeah.
Exactly.
But I didn't need to waste all of our time then.
We knew where he was going with it. And, so I'd like to talk about the space
junk. Before we move on to the body junk. Which
we didn't really get into the junk of the water.
I know, I distracted too much. But I don't want to burn too much time. Did I already go on my disposable floss rant on this show?
No.
Okay.
Oh, wait, did you?
I think I think a month ago I might have.
I think it might have been after the show, but anyway.
Okay, so this is the right venue for it. Okay, so you remember during COVID, you'd see a lot of masks on the ground, and that was like kind of a sign of the times. But you always see like some sort of like reoccurring garbage, and maybe I say this as a pedestrian, and maybe I say this as someone that is, you know, like through driving, I've been through a few places, and through walking, I've been through a few places. But in Chicago, I see a lot of it. So like, it used to be masks. Now it's disposable dental, like floss picks. And like where it's like, I've seen it happen so much now that it's like, either I'm not paying attention to where I'm at, but I feel like if this has been at multiple places, and like maybe I'm seeing it a lot in one spot and someone just has a bad habit and like is always doing that. But it's also like, I think it's also that too, the fact that like people can't be bothered to get the whole thing and then throw that away. And even then that's trouble sometimes, throwing away the string, but that there's just like, oh, here, I'm flossing my teeth, I'm done with it. You know, like maybe someone going back to work and they, you know,
well, after you said that, I started noticing. You know, you like don't notice things until you know either somebody brings it up.
So you've seen it too. Floss picks everywhere. So like either there's like a mad floss picking guy that just wants to just litter the world, or you know, maybe I don't know, maybe there's some podcaster out there that's like evil and he's just like, yeah, dude, drop your floss pick, bro. Don't let them tell you what to do, bro. Well,
but see,
and then, so if you're a person that throws your floss pick on the ground, you're a terrible human being, and you should really think more about your life and what your choices are.
Yeah, tell him, Paul.
Yeah.
But that also goes in line with my theory of that, you know, the adult wipes are a scam. Okay, it's just a marketing tactic. You don't.
Oh, you're talking about like dude wipes and stuff like that.
Yeah, but just using, because like I said, it was originally just baby wipes, and then they wanted to market it and they wanted to sell more. So, oh, you know what? We'll get people to start using it after they use the bathroom.
Well, I knew people that were using baby wipes. You know, it was like their way of freshening up or whatever. So it's like I could see how that took off. Well, I know you're saying like use a bidet.
The same thing with the floss.
It's also like a good fiber diet too, and you probably won't need to. But the floss too. Yeah, no, exactly. Where it's like it's so wasteful. Well, I think the convenience is also you have the ability to use a pick and you have the ability to, you know. But it's like a wooden toothpick will biodegrade. They're cheap, and same with 25 yards of floss, 50 yards of floss.
Yeah, totally. And you can get, and they have biodegradable floss as well, and they have, you know, you can get the toothpicks that have like tea tree oil and stuff in it.
Yeah.
So why you like put more plastic? And especially all the time about microplastics, you're literally putting just stuffing plastic into your mouth.
Yep.
And then I remember Brian brought up the whole tire thing, and that made me think about like not only the amount of tires that we use that cannot be recycled, but just driving releases microplastics into the air.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I mean, they've talked about what
this conversation is not depressing.
Microplastics in your testicles. Like that's been proven.
In the brain.
Yeah, in the brain. Oh my gosh. So it's probably all over the body.
Yeah.
So like a percentage of me is plastic.
Well, here to now we're talking about the body, bringing it to the junk in the body.
Yeah.
But this is like kind of a good thing. Well, there's some of it's weird and gross, but this part is good because I also thought when I was thinking of space junk on Earth, I thought about junk DNA. Okay.
Ooh, okay.
So junk DNA.
Yeah, but if you didn't get the jab, then
it's gene therapy, man. They're taking your DNA and I'm cloning.
Feeling like a lesbian frog these days after my COVID shots. So No, but junk DNA was a term was coined back in the 1960s by Susumu Ono, and they thought for years that this non-coding DNA was junk. They're like, oh, this is not necessary. It was just some artifact left over by evolution. Just right?
And it wasn't until the Human Genome Project, right? So originally, we still thought it was kind of junk. When the Human Genome Project, early 2000s, came out, they figured out, wow, the human genome's, it's about 98% was what they were still calling junk DNA, non-functional junk DNA, right? And they believed it was like biological waste created by a roadblock and biological research, yada, yada, yada. But then in the ENCODE project in 2012, it started to shift. They started learning that, no, actually, junk DNA is really important, and that there are actually molecules that serve as dimmer switches that turn genes on and off, orchestrating how and when proteins are made. So I thought that was pretty interesting. That's like a good junk.
Yeah.
You know, but for years we thought it was, you know, what is it, 90%? Can you imagine that? Like they thought for so long that 98% of our DNA was useless.
Yeah, but that's, I think, just because they just didn't know.
They didn't know.
Yeah. Like,
but they assumed, and they just said, they didn't bother to say, well, we don't know yet. They were like, no, it's just junk.
We've learned about scientists on this show.
Yeah. They believe the junk comes from ancient viral infections that the body has subsequently repurposed as functional promoters to control cellular development. And that's another we've talked about. I don't know if you remember when COVID hit, we did the virus show, and I was talking about how, through evolutionary biology and everything, they have figured out that viruses were key to human evolution. These are the things that triggered.
Well, I mean, you can't eradicate viruses. They're going to exist.
Most viruses are not bad.
Yeah, but I guess what I'm saying though is like if you didn't experience some of the base level viruses like the common cold or something like that, like you can't change the fact that the virus exists. So if you don't have it to build up some sort of immunity, I would think that could hit you pretty hard, if your body's not used to it. So I think it's weird. I think in some level that you do kind of, if you can't get rid of the viruses, maybe we have to live with it, then maybe it is kind of a good thing that we have it. But I'm sure there's also a biological reason that it's like, oh no, we never would have been able to make that like living leap if it weren't for something,
Yeah, because it triggered the cell regeneration.
Okay.
From going from like single cell organism to,
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Multiple cell organisms. That was the viruses that kind of triggered the response to create that.
So it's like, I hit you with red blood cell or white blood cell.
Well, and the thing too is like virus. I think, one is because we always think of virus in terms of like the flu or COVID or something. So it gets a bad rap.
Yeah.
And when you hear the word virus, you just think of something bad, right?
Yeah.
But there's actually tens of trillions of viruses inside your body right now. Tens of trillions.
What are they doing in there? Start charging rent.
Yeah. Well, most of them are benign.
Dormant.
Some are beneficial.
Waiting for their buddies to show up. Say, like, hey, you're gonna love it here. I'm gonna kill all of you.
Well, that's why I was looking up, like the junk in your body, right? That there's more bacteria living in your body than human cells.
Oh wow. Wow. Oh boy.
And what about...
what if they take over?
Yeah. What about, did you know you have eyelash mites?
Yeah, I did know that. Yeah. Thanks for reminding me, though. I'm just going to itch my eyes all night and not sleep.
It was like a Brooklyn Nine-Nine episode where Terry Crews, he finds out, they tell him, like, do you know there's all kind of, like, mites and bacteria on your body? He's like, what? And he, like, shaves his eyebrows and eyelashes off. Like, that's not going to get rid of them.
Yeah. I mean, it is also, like... as far as like beards go, though, I mean, a good way to like, beards are kind of full of bacteria and stuff like that. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm not anti-beard here. I'm just saying, maintain some hygiene.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they say like the Demodex mites or the eyelash mites, but they're like face and skin mites. They believe that it's colonized the eyelashes of more than 80% of people older than 60. And I guess they live in the root of your eyelash and hair follicles. And there could be as many as 25 mites living in a single eyelash follicle.
Just hanging out in there.
Just hanging out. There's like, I mean, this is all just kind of gross stuff, honestly, but I just thought it was kind of interesting because it's weird junk that our body, it's like, it's like life imitating art. Or art imitating life, but it's also we create all this junk. Like we created all this junk that's in space, we create all this junk that's on Earth, but our body creates all this junk, like earwax, fatty deposits, mucus, bacteria. And we're going to end the show on
I hate to do this
on a gross note. I know that. I just noticed the time. Thank everybody.
You knew this was going to happen.
Thank everybody for listening, and thanks again for sticking with us every Saturday, 6, 7 p.m. right here on WCPT 820, Think Theory Radio.
Would it be crazy if you packed your bags and left for a week, a month, a year? What if you left for 2 years? What if you were going far away to help in a village on the edge of the Gobi Desert, to teach children and learn a thing or two about yourself? Would that be crazy? Peace Corps. Life is calling. How far were you